All right. Hey, everybody. How are you today? It is me, Danielle J. Mitchell, your up and coming queen of real estate, and I'm here for today's and this week's Tuesday tip at 2. Sorry that I'm tardy for the party. Sometimes with technology, it does what it wants to do, in spite of all the preparation that you can have. It just does what it wants to do. So I was letting it do what it wanted to do until it got itself together so that we can, or I could go live and see all of you today. So, hey everybody. Thank you for joining me again for today's and this week's Tuesday tip at 2. All right, so we're going to dive right into it. Get it going. You know what you need to do first. I need you to like, to share, to subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you to those who have been subscribing. I appreciate the slow and steady climbing subscribers. I appreciate it so very much. Be sure to press notifications and do all notifications so you'll know anytime I'm going live and you won't miss a beat. Okay, even if you can't watch it in the moment, you can certainly watch the archives later. Also, I don't just do my Tuesday tips at 2. I also upload my city living tours, so you can check out what properties are out there and hitting the market, whether it is in the city of Philadelphia or the surrounding suburbs. So you can't miss that. You got to check that out. Because those are fun. So even if you're not in it for the info per se, it's always fun to check out the nice homes that are out there. So again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all of the above. Okay, so let's dive right on into it. We're just going to talk today. We're just going to have a conversation. One of the things that you hear oftentimes is that don't I need 20% down for my mortgage, right? And that is, and the reason why I named it Myth Busters, is because that's just simply not true. So we're just going to talk a bit about it and where that came from. So for a long time, definitely prior to 10 years ago, I would say, you would hear people say 20% down, 20% down, and probably even more than that. 20% down, definitely before like 2008, the recession, all that stuff. You will hear you need 20% down, right? But you do not need 20% down payment. You do not need to put down 20% on your mortgage. Now, what 20% am I talking about? Like I said, it's for your down payment. Your down payment has to do with your mortgage amount. Okay, so a lot of people had the misconception like I have to save all of this money. Now, don't get me wrong. The more money you save, the better, of course. If you save what could pan out to be 20% of your down payment, that is awesome, right? That is a great thing, right? But you do not have to save 20% in order to qualify for a mortgage or in order to secure a mortgage. That's simply not true. Now, so pretty much what that came from was there was a time where especially for a conventional loan, so for conventional loans and these different jumbo balloon loans, you needed like that 20%, right, in order to even qualify. But luckily programs like the FHA loans, luckily programs within the conventional loans have significantly change their guidelines where no, you can secure, even if you're like, I'm not into the FHA because of private mortgage insurance too high, Now, number one, private mortgage insurance is an insurance that the mortgage company or lending institution, they take out insurance against you, right? against the property in the event that you can't pay your mortgage, okay, but you got to pay for it. So it's a insurance that protects them in the event that you default, but you pay for it, and it's wrapped into your monthly mortgage payment. Now, a lot of times with FHA, you'll pay a little bit more in your mortgage insurance, but if you put down less than 20% on anything, no matter, or should I say, no matter what the loan is, you're going to pay private mortgage insurance. Now, the great thing is that with conventional loans, it is a lot less than if you were to get a FHA loan. Okay, but let's just comb through the down payment percentages for different loans. Okay, so, and I'm just going through the general ones. I'm not going into like if you're an investor, we're just talking about if you're a home buyer and you're buying a home where that is owner occupied, and that includes, as I talked about before, even if it's a house hacking situation and you get a 2-unit, 3-unit, up to 4-unit property, this is for you. Okay, so for an FHA loan, which is a federally funded loan that helps people with lower credit scores a lot of the times, right, makes it an option for them to be able to buy a property, because with a conventional loan you need a higher credit score. You have to put down 3.5% down as a down payment. Okay, 3.5%. Now that down payment is wrapped into your closing costs. Okay, so that's what you have to put down. For a conventional loan, say you have a higher credit score, typically the higher credit score for a conventional loan is definitely above, I would say, 650 and up, right? Of course, the higher the better. But typically, if you're closer to 700 or at 700, you can certainly qualify for a conventional loan. And, okay, you could potentially only have to put down 3%. What I've found, now I'm no mortgage loan officer. I'm speaking to you as a real estate person who has helped people to get loans and work with a lot of lenders, right? From my experience, typically, you have to be a first-time home buyer in order to be eligible for that 3% down for a conventional loan. And the standard, if you are not a first-time home buyer, is 5% down. Okay, if you qualify. Of course, if you wanted to go with a conventional loan, but for some reason, your credit score is not where they want it to be, it could be 10%. But like I said, the typical average, if you're not a first-time home buyer, 5%. If you are a first-time home buyer, it's going to be 3%. All right. So those are the typical percentages that you may have to put down. Another quick tidbit is that you can also get what's called seller's assist when buying a home. I talked about this before, but the difference is that with a conventional loan, you can only get up to 3% seller's assist, and with an FHA loan, you can get the maximum allowable, which is 6% seller's assist. Okay, so those are the tidbits for the day. I threw in that seller's assist thing as a little extra tip, but I'm just letting you know that 20% down is not what you have to come up with. Now, if you saved 20%, and here's the other thing, like, how do you even know what 20%, you don't even know what you're pre-approved for, right? So unless you talk with a lender and all that good stuff, and they tell you what your pre-approval amount for a house is, you don't know how much you need to save, right? My rule of thumb is to talk with the lender, kind of see, have them answer your questions. They can answer some basic questions in regards to your financial situation, in regards to excuse me, in regards to your debt to income ratio. and they'll be able to give you a more of a better ballpark as to how much you'll need to save. My rule of thumb to buy a house in general, you need to remember that 10%, and that includes that down payment, 10% of your purchase price of your home is going to be your closing costs. And like I said, that includes down payment. So I would say, look at the overall picture of the expenses that you have to pay. At the very least, if you can get to 5 to 7% of savings. So let's say you have $100,000 house, and let's say that's your purchase price, and let's say you have $5,000. Yes, that is fantastic. Let's say you have $7,000. That is fantastic, right? That can definitely, you'll still need seller's assist, but it will put you in the running to be able to buy a house. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, it's definitely not 20% that you need down. It's definitely not that. Okay, so we're still under that 20% down. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say today. This was a pretty much a quick one, and just wanted, like I said, wanted to have a little chat with you guys and let you know that buying a home is certainly possible. It does not have to be that whole 20% down plus closing costs. If there is a professional telling you that that's what you need, you might need to give me a talking to. And let's see. And if they are telling you you need 20%, it could be because your score needs to go up a bit more or something like that. But there's so much help out here for you to be able to secure a house that you can certainly do it without having to save a whole 20% for your down payment, let alone closing costs. All right. So anyway, if you want to talk about this or anything else as it pertains to buying a home or selling, you know what you got to do. You got to go to book.djmrealtyco.com. All right. book.djmrealtyco.com. And let's get you on the path to home ownership. Yes. So for a $300,000 house, you need $30,000. Yeah. Around there is your safest bet if you were to go in without closing costs. Okay, around there is your safest bet if you're doing it without closing costs. Now, if you want to utilize some seller's assist, then that can be it. But I say, again, the whole goal of this is that, of course, the higher your score is, the better. The higher your savings amount is better. But it does not mean that you cannot secure and find a house if you don't have those things. But definitely, to answer your question, $300,000, rule of thumb, $30,000. It's going to get you where you fit in. Okay. Thank you all. Talk to you soon. Remember, there's no place like home, no place like home buying, and I'll be sure to talk with you. Sorry, I keep forgetting to look into my camera, y'all. I'm looking at y'all. There's no place like home. There's no place like home buying. And thank you for joining me for today's Tuesday Tip at 2. I will see you next week where we'll do it all over again. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.